Welcome to Sika Stories. We're so glad you're here. If you love captivating tales and intriguing narratives, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and get ready to dive into some amazing stories. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey with Sika Stories. In today's episode, I would tell you about Rosalina, the mafia boss. In the underbelly of New York City, where the skyline's glittering facade masked a labyrinth of dark alleys and shadowy deals, Rosalina De Luca reigned supreme. As the head of the De Luca crime family, she was both feared and respected, her iron fist hidden beneath a velvet glove. Her beauty was legendary, but it was her ruthlessness that had carved her name into the annals of the city's criminal history. Rosalina's rise to power was as bloody as it was inevitable. After her father's untimely death, she had taken the reins, crushing anyone who dared challenge her authority. She built an empire on the foundations of fear and loyalty, and none dared to cross her. But power came at a price. Strange occurrences began to plague Rosalina. It started with whispers in the night, echoing through the grand halls of her mansion. At first, she dismissed them as figments of her imagination, the byproduct of stress and sleepless nights. But the whispers grew louder, more insistent, until they were impossible to ignore. One evening, as she sat in her study, poring over the day's reports, the room grew unnaturally cold. The flames in the fireplace flickered and dimmed, and the shadows seemed to lengthen and dance. Rosalina looked up, her sharp eyes narrowing as she scanned the room. The whispers grew louder, forming words that sent a chill down her spine. Rosalina! Rosalina! She stood abruptly, her chair scraping against the wooden floor. "Who's there?" she demanded, her voice steady despite the fear curling in her gut. The only response was silence, heavy and oppressive. Rosalina's hand moved to the pistol she always kept by her side, her fingers curling around the cold metal. She had faced countless enemies, but this was something different, something she couldn't see or fight. Determined to uncover the source of the disturbances, Rosalina began investigating the history of her mansion. She discovered that it had once belonged to a rival family, the Marconis, whom her father had ruthlessly eliminated. The house was rumored to be haunted by the vengeful spirits of those who had perished within its walls. Unwilling to let fear control her, Rosalina sought the help of a local priest, Father Gabriel, known for his expertise in exorcisms. The old priest arrived one stormy night, his presence a stark contrast to the opulent surroundings. He was a man of quiet strength, his eyes filled with a weary wisdom. "Miss De Luca," he greeted, bowing his head slightly. "You say your home is haunted?" Rosalina nodded, her usual confidence shaken. "There are whispers in the night, and a coldness that seeps into my bones. I need to know what I'm dealing with." Father Gabriel nodded, crossing himself before beginning his examination of the mansion. Hours passed as he moved from room to room, muttering prayers and sprinkling holy water. Finally, he returned to Rosalina, his expression grave. "There is indeed a presence here," he confirmed. "The spirits of the Marconis are trapped, bound by the violence that ended their lives. They seek vengeance." Rosalina's jaw tightened. "What must be done?" "You must confront them," Father Gabriel replied. "Acknowledge their suffering, and seek to make amends." That night, as the storm raged outside, Rosalina prepared herself for the confrontation. She stood in the center of the grand hall, the heart of the mansion, and called out to the spirits. "Marconis, hear me. I am Rosalina De Luca, daughter of the man who wronged you. Show yourselves." The temperature plummeted, and the lights flickered before going out entirely. In the darkness, shapes began to form, ghostly figures materializing before her eyes. They were pale and translucent, their eyes filled with anger and sorrow. "Rosalina De Luca," one of them hissed, a woman with a cruel scar marring her face. "You carry the sins of your father. His blood runs in your veins, and his crimes stain your soul." Rosalina's heart pounded, but she stood her ground. "I know the pain my father caused. I cannot change the past, but I am willing to make amends. What do you want from me?" The spirits murmured among themselves before the woman spoke again. "We want justice. Bring us the man who betrayed us, the one who aided your father." Rosalina's mind raced. There was only one man who fit that description. Vito Moretti, her father's former right-hand man. He had since retired, living quietly in the countryside. She had no love for Vito, knowing the depths of his treachery. "Very well," she agreed. "I will bring him to you." The spirits faded, leaving the room warmer but still heavy with their presence. Rosalina wasted no time. She called her most trusted men and ordered them to find Vito and bring him back to the mansion. It took 2 days, but they succeeded. Vito was dragged before Rosalina, his eyes wide with fear. "Rosalina, please. What is this about?" "You know what it's about, Vito," she replied coldly. "You betrayed the Marconis, and now you will face their judgment." As if summoned by her words, the spirits reappeared, their forms more solid, their expressions grim. Vito screamed, but there was no escape. The ghosts closed in, their hands passing through him, drawing out his life force. His screams echoed through the mansion before fading into a chilling silence. The spirits turned to Rosalina. "It is done," the scarred woman said. "We are free." With that, they vanished, and the oppressive weight lifted from the mansion. The whispers ceased, and the coldness dissipated. Rosalina stood alone, her heart heavy but her resolve stronger than ever. She had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, but she knew the cost of power. From that night on, Rosalina ruled with a newfound wisdom, aware of the shadows that lurked behind the facade of her empire. And though the spirits were gone, their lesson remained. True power comes not from fear, but from justice. Thanks for tuning into Sika Stories. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating tales. Your support helps us keep bringing these stories to life. See you in the next episode.